So, I was just going to say, is there, with both teams at 500 and you're getting into the second half of the year, I know everyone wants to win every game, but is there a little added kind of maybe not desperation, but just importance to this game?
I think there's quite a bit of significance. We've been in some real hard-fought battles, and so have they. And I think both teams would love to come out the second half of the season and start fast, and come out and establish themselves and playing good football. So I think both teams recognize, at least we do, recognize the significance of this one for the second half of the season, and getting some momentum into the second half of the season and really playing well.
And you said Scott's a real good fit for their system. Why is that?
Well, he's got a very quick release. He's a really good runner, and then he has enough arm strength to, when they do take their shots, to throw it down the field. He has the ability to do that. So he's really good in their quick game. He's really good in their zone read stuff, and then to throw it down the field, he's got the arm strength to do it.
Is he doing anything he did 2 years ago when he played them?
I wouldn't say they're the same, but they are similar in just the no-huddle approach, the shotgun-oriented offense and all that stuff. It's similar, but I'm sure from a verbiage standpoint and all that, it's very different.
Does it help with this defense having played Oregon already? I mean, you got a lot of different personnel in different spots, so just in terms of the rotating of guys and all that.
I think that helps in the understanding the tempo of it and having it game-like situation that way, and not just in practice, but understanding TV timeouts and first downs and out of bounds and the ball getting spotted. We generally in practice try to make it harder than it really is in the games and going as fast as we can go. But sometimes the guys realize in the games it can slow itself down a little bit. So we're prepared for as fast as they can go, and now we got to tackle them.
And Kerry, what are the dangers with him?
He's such a versatile guy. I think Kadeem is a tremendous player. He's had a great year so far. He obviously running the football, what he does, but he's such a threat out of the backfield to catch the ball, whether it's in their screen game, the wheel routes out of the backfield into the boundary. He's a real threat that way.
Have you faced someone that's used the back that much in that way yet this year?
Well, I mean, Oregon does it quite a bit too. You have to prepare for that stuff with Oregon, of them getting to the ball, the DeAnthony or Kenyon out of the backfield that way as well. So they're probably the most similar in that sense. But the difference is it's Kadeem Carey. There's not 2 or 3 different guys. We know 25 is going to be their guy back there. So we got to find a way to tackle him, especially when he gets to the second level, because he will at times, and he does a really nice job of making safeties miss. So we need to tackle well.
Ben Riva's been on the depth chart the last couple of weeks. Is there a chance he's back?
We're hopeful. We're hopeful. Especially with a guy coming off of that significant of an injury, probably more of a game time decision. But we're hopeful we get something out of him.
Any other personnel stuff?
No, we look pretty good. For the guys that have been available, we look pretty good.
With your own running back crew, Sankey obviously has done a real nice job. Have you found someone that can spell him a little bit?
Well, we're hopeful Kendall Taylor can continue to expand on his role. Making a transition from receiver to running back isn't always the easiest, especially mid-season, but Kendall's shown us some real bright spots and doing some different things, running the ball and catching the ball. So hopefully his role can expand. I'd like to get Desmond Petty a bit more involved because of his physical running style and what he brings. He's been productive when he's gotten in. And then we're always looking for ways just to get Eric Wilson some carries because he's such an explosive back. So I don't know how much it's going to change from a distribution standpoint. We do recognize the heat in this ball game, especially early in the game there in Tucson. So we'll probably try to spell Bishop a bit more earlier in the game so that we can have him fresh in the second half.
And you look at what Oregon has done, and then obviously Arizona. Is Scott as much of a threat, or have you found he's much of a threat to run as Mariota?
He can run. I don't know if he's as fast as Marcus. I mean, Marcus is elite speed, but Matt Scott can run, believe me. So, and he'll hurt you with his legs, especially when they hit the fringe and into the red zone. He's a real threat to run the ball.
How much of what he does is designed versus he just kind of takes off when maybe there's nothing there?
I think it's relatively designed. He has escapability, but I think it's relatively designed. Zone read is zone read. He's reading the defensive end or different things that they do. But then, he has enough, improvisation to his game to, when things break down in the passing game, to pull it down and run. But the majority of his stuff comes on designed runs.
Do you feel like you're going to have to manage your own pace to kind of counter the heat, or do you think you're going to be fine?
I think we'll be okay. We obviously dealt with pretty extreme heat at LSU. It's a night game. I'm sure it's going to be 80s or so at kickoff time, but it'll dip into the 70s as the game gets going, so we should be okay.
Steve, the last 2 games you've played on the road, both against top 2 teams,
Right.
do you feel like that experience is going to help you on Saturday?
Well, I think we got some things that we can take away from those games to learn from, in from a energy standpoint, one, but a composure standpoint too, and that you have to execute when you go on the road. And if you go back to LSU opening kickoff, we caused the fumble. We get an opportunity to score 7 points right off the bat, and we failed to execute. We go to Oregon, we get a couple stops on defense, but then we muff a punt, we throw a pick six. So the start of the game for me going on the road is what's critical for us, is that we really come out and execute really well, focused, detail oriented, doing our jobs, so we can play 4 quarters of football and not keep having to try to come back from behind when we're on the road. So that part's going to be something I think we can take away from the last 2 times we've been on the road.